Three, one, two, three. And hello, fellows. Herogon here. Today is Thursday, May 11th of 2023. Right now, outside of my little hobbies, I'm not sure if there's much to say other than me doing some 3D modeling or retopology here. I've actually got my own little character right here that I've been trying to retopologize, and boy has that been a little wild. Right now the poly count for this one's around 2,493 triangles, which will probably either double or something once the mirror modifier is added. I am of course trying to make some of my own character models thanks to the help of Salvatore Ditrani's own basemesh, which I have been currently using to help me. And that's a bit of what I've been going through with regards to 3D modeling. But of course, outside of that, not too much going on in my life right now. Just trying to go through the ACTs and studying for that one. So yeah, now to get into the meat of this whole recording for Funlog Friday / Showcase Saturday, today's Sean the Bro tutorial called for some more improvements to the in-game store part. Now, back last week or so, we had ourselves the widget itself, but now I have added in movement to that way you can move from each part here. Before I show that, there's a bit of code bits that I've had to add since then. In the event graph of store widget, we go event construct, and I have added a bunch of listen for input actions, a lot like the other user interfaces. And they of course have their move selection and confirm selection too. And we have put that all right before the get data table row name stuff from last week, along with this move selection part, so we can have it on the first thing by default, which will be the characters button. Now, in listen for input action, we do a callback event, P1 menu left, right, up, all depending on the directions and these action names. And in our project settings, we have these action mappings for the menu parts so you can move around on the menu. Your left, right, up, and down with confirm as well put in, being the 4 by default for the keyboard input. Now for the move selection part, it's a little different from the others. We've got ourselves the direction, is horizontal movement boolean, and play sound effects. In here, it's a bit of complex stuff. Now, if we have horizontal movement, then we set our current selection in row if the particular thing is true. Current selection row plus our direction is greater than -1, and our current selection row plus direction is less than the max selections in each row's current row integer array. Then we go and set our current selection row to be current selection row plus direction. A bit complicated to explain if you ask me. After all this weird jargon, I know most people probably won't care for that all too much and will probably get confused. We go into determine button to focus, which casts to our button, and we get our category vertical box, which is this right here. We get all children, and our current row will act as our integer index. If our cast failed, however, we set our button reference to none, and we cast a button before that. If the cast succeeds, then our button reference is set. Then we go right to display hovered option. And of course, after that, we also have a Boolean for if we want to play sound effects, which is right here. But going into the display hovered option, we check if we're valid for each loop with our category VB, getting all our children for that array. We cast a button, and depending on if it doesn't equal the button reference, then we have ourselves two options. If it's false, then P1 hover will appear. If true, then nothing will appear. And we set our style for the button border, with our target being the button and style normal image being where we plug in our value. Another part is confirm selection. Now, it's a bit different from the other menus. We determine our button to focus, and if it's equal to a certain button like characters, stages, outfits, or skins, and game settings. If it's true, then we change our category. If false, we continue on down this branch path. And of course, we have a category index put in here that will change depending on where you are currently at. And in change category, we clear our item hit horizontal box of all of its children. The item horizontal box being here. Then we get our data table row names of unlockable item data. Put our row names into a for each loop, get our data table row, break unlockable item, and depending on type, we will have it set to something. Now we have this select area which will be used, and if our type is equal to that and it's true, then we create our store item icon widget again, set the item details with our icon image, and add child to horizontal box. Now, it's a lot of stuff to take in, especially for me, and I don't even know if I can put this in the best of words. But, of course, I think it would be best to show you. I won't be going into the fighting game itself, just showing you the archive spot. Oops. Now going into archives, then we go down to store. You can see our characters here. We press down to stages and press confirm, then it changes. So far, we don't have anything in outfits and skins or game settings just yet, but you can probably get the idea. Of course, I don't have any option to go back to the archives menu, so yeah. That is pretty much it. A little bit of a long video, but a bit short on the content parts of improvement. So yeah, I'd also like to make a note that right now, Unreal Engine 5.2 has released. So what you're seeing right now is actually me having ported all of my projects into Unreal Engine 5.2. So I'll probably be able to take advantage of some amazing things soon. Anyways, credit again goes to Sean the Bro for all of his tutorials. They have been a great time killer, as always, and right now he is sitting at 7,100 subscribers. Pretty close, and I have to admit, it's a pretty amazing feat, especially for an Unreal Engine program. And with all of that, this is where I will leave things off. I've been Herogon, you've been you, and thank you for joining me in this little showcase of stuff. Goodbye, everyone.